we welcome Ms. Supa Chowdhury, the British Deputy High Commissioner to Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry. Thank you for coming here. It's a pleasure that you are here. It's the right time to come. Because Trivandrum is now in the taking off stage after the Vizhinjam harbour, that we have got the biggest harbour here coming. And we are all looking at focusing on strengthening the business and trade investments relationship between UK and particularly Kerala and also particularly Trivandrum. And we are looking at the opportunities, bilateral trade and promoting investments either way. So that, that's your intention also is there, and fostering innovation, supporting education, because education is one of the major things which we really focus on, and also skill development, as you know we have. So I will stop here. I think on my right side, I have the Secretary of the Trivandrum Chamber of Commerce Industry, Mr. Abraham Thomas. We call him Joji, commonly known as. Then we have Sir Joy Thomas here, who is also from the UK mission. He heads he's a senior investment advisor at the Department for Business, Innovation, Science and Trade. One person who supposed joined them, that's Kripa Ramachandran, is not here because she's not able to make it. But we have Serene Solomon, who has got a little bit of stint in Trivandrum because she studied here. She's the head of trade and investment for Kerala, and she's also accompanying this delegation. So I think I'll stop here and I'll hand over this mic to the Deputy High Commissioner, who will speak to you, and you can probably, after listen to her, then you can ask your questions. Sure. Yeah, use your mic. Adam, is there? Alhamdulillah, mic on. He mic on also.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, President. Thank you, Trivandrum Chamber of Commerce. Firstly, I'm just very sorry that it's taken a bit of time to get over here. I was at the Techno Park, which is an incredibly impressive space. And I really didn't know that since the 1990s, this government has been at the forefront of creating such a space, such a vibrant ecosystem, way before Bangalore even had.
This is the first techno park in the country.
I know, and it's also so green. So I could really see the benefits of having a cluster of similar businesses in one space. So let me just again introduce myself. I'm Supa Chowdhury. I'm the Deputy High Commissioner for the British Government. I'm based in Chennai, and I cover the 3 states of Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and Puducherry. This is my first visit to Trivandrum, and yesterday I had the great honour of meeting the new Chief Minister. I also met the Ministers for Health, Education, and Industries. So I have a really, really keen sense now of how the state is at the cusp of some change. All the ministers I met yesterday, starting from the Chief Minister himself, talked about big ambition, big plans for the state of Kerala. And so with that open-mindedness and that sense of internationalization, I'm really excited about the partnership between the UK and India. One of the reasons why I've come here at this point in time, apart from to meet with your new ministers, is because we have launched a new trade deal between the UK and India. It was actually signed between the 2 Prime Ministers last year in July 2025. And this year, on the 15th of July, less than a year after the signing, this deal, the trade deal, became a reality. Why does this matter? So after the UK left the European Union, this is the most ambitious and most comprehensive trade deal anywhere in the world. So it covers 99% of tariff lines. That means almost all the goods and services that are traded between our 2 countries are positively impacted, meaning that it will be cheaper, quicker, and easier to do trade between the UK and India. That's both ways. In terms of Kerala, I'm aware of, I just want to highlight 6 sectors where I specifically think there are some real cost advantages and ease of doing business. And these are Kerala's unique strengths. So whether it's fisheries and marine products, spices, agriculture and food processing, IT and digital, the sector that I was speaking to a round table about just now before coming here, textiles and handloom, engineering and advanced manufacturing, and finally a subject which is very close to my own heart, which is yoga, wellness and healthcare. I practice yoga every day myself, so I'm really, really excited about yoga and this long tradition of Ayurveda and naturopathy going to the UK and providing an offering which is a little bit different and unique to Kerala. So the entry into force of this trade deal is the reason why I've come here today to meet all of you. But I'm also here in listening mode. I want to hear about your ambitions for investment into the UK. That's what CJOY leads on. I'm also interested to know about any problems that you have, if at all, when it comes to expanding your businesses in the UK. You probably already know, but out of the 10 leading universities in the whole world, 4 of them are based in the UK. So we have a really, really vibrant ecosystem of talent. And I think that's a really shared kind of characteristic between Kerala and the UK, that we place a very high premium on high quality education. And of course, Kerala is well known for having very, very high levels of human development, high levels of education. And indeed, when I met the Minister for Higher Education yesterday, he gave us some very concrete plans for engaging with universities and taking education to a global scale, which is an excellent thing because the UK and India have also signed memorandums of understanding for 10 British universities to set up branch campuses across India. So far, not one of them is in Kerala, but we really want to change that because there is clearly a strong demand for education in Kerala. And your Minister for Higher Education is on board with that plan. So I'm really looking forward to that coming to fruition, just like the University of Southampton is now already taking a cohort of students in Gurugram. So I think that's all I wanted to say to start with, but I'm very, very open to your questions. In terms of the scale of this trade deal, I just want to highlight the fact that we have projected that it's going to be worth £25.5 billion, UK pounds, of increased trade between the two countries over the long term. So this is a really significant deal for us. And like I said, it touches on so many different sectors. There's a lot of detail, which is, one has to read that detail, but we also have an excellent trade team, trade and investment. Both of them are sitting next to me. So Serene on my left is an expert on trade, but also we can point you in the direction of those who are experts on this new piece of legislation and this agreement between the two countries. And then CJOY is known to many businesses across Kerala. I could see just how much of an impact he's been having as the local interlocutor helping businesses to enter into the UK market. Lots and lots of practical advice. That's what we're here to offer. Not just talking a big talk, but really helping, making tangible differences to businesses on both sides. I hope that's helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you have comprehensively probably talked about what you have in mind and what you expect from us. We have heard from you quite well. And the interesting part of the whole thing is that on both sides, we have people who are originating from Kerala. You have Serene from Kerala. I think CJOY also has got a Kerala. Yeah, so they will be able to give you a feeling of the ecosystem what the state is all about. They were told you also what Kerala is all about. I forgot to introduce my Vice President, Mr. Suresh Matthew, on the left side. He's a leading frozen food exporter to various countries, including UK. So he's one person, a potential guy. Yeah. So I think opening the floor to all of you. Those who want to ask, please ask. If you want to ask in Malayalam, probably these two people can answer your point. Do you think our Honorable Deputy High Commissioner, you want to hear from her mouth, ask her, she'll be able to give you the answer to that. So, the floor is open. Yeah. Michael, that. You keep your mic. Dada, you mic.
You mentioned 6 areas. You didn't mention tourism. Tourism also.
You didn't say mention tourism.
So one of the second areas, you also mentioned Spanish campus. You know, during the discussions with the Chief Minister.
So let me just cover the second one. Yeah, it did come up, yes, because I proactively. So I was joined yesterday by the Director for the British Council for the whole of South India. Her name is Janaka. And she has been leading on this business of branch campuses. So you may know that in Karnataka, in Bangalore, there are already 2. And so I raised that with the CM and also with the Minister of Higher Education. They're very open to this. This is something new. I think that this idea of having international partnerships in higher education has not happened until now. So, yeah, I absolutely did raise it. And so your first question, tourism. So I did not mention, and I think that the list that I have is to do with new sectors and also to do with the value and that sectors that will really benefit from the trade deal. So it's not about what sectors matter for Kerala's economy, but sectors that will actually receive financial benefits as a result of the trade deal because of tariffs coming down. Tourism is tourism. It's a given. Kerala is extremely well known on the global stage and of course in Britain because of the tourism prospects and existing opportunity. But these are areas where there will be a cost advantage.
Yeah, my thought is just I even just think of it.
I'll let you choose.
Can you tell us about the potential that is there for the rail to bring them home here? Was that part of discussion with this?
Yeah. So actually, last night when I finished my busy day, I decided to go to Birani Port at night time because I wanted to understand the geography. I wanted to know how far it is. But to your question, yes, absolutely. Every minister that I met yesterday proactively raised the port as something, as a sort of symbol of pride, because it's right here. And it's not just for the benefit of Kerala, of course. This is a hub that's going to benefit India and the whole of South Asia. It provides an alternative to existing shipping routes. And you may know that the CM has a keen interest in clean energy. So the idea of decarbonising and providing a clean shipping routes was something that he also raised, which is excellent because that's one of our areas of interest. In fact, that's exactly what Serene leads on. So I will be sharing her details with his office to make sure that we keep progressing a partnership on that.
You know that the future agreement has now come into effect.
Just take the mic.
And this is very significant as far as both India and India is concerned. Now, you know that Kerala, even though it's a consumer state, marine products, spices, these things are some very important aspects of Kerala and it's been explored. Now, how important do you think that this trade agreement is going to be as far as these products are concerned, spices and marine products?
Quite simply so, it's just going to make it cheaper to send these products to the UK. And there's a percentage reduction. 99% of, 99% of goods will be duty free, but we can also calculate specifically for each and every product what differences it is going to make. So what that means is for the UK consumer, and British people also like their fish, just like in Kerala, that opens up opportunities for Keralan fish, Keralan prawns, like the prawns I ate last night for my dinner when I sat opposite Viridian Port, for those types of products into the UK market. At the moment, we have prawns from Vietnam, from other parts, but it's a really exciting prospect that Kerala will have that cost advantage.
And one important aspect is migration. The large number of youngsters, especially going to the UK and the European countries. Now, nursing is one sector, a large number of youngsters who after their studies. But now that there is a reverse migration also that started, some people are coming back, saying that they're not getting the job which they actually decided to get in the UK. And one factor we are saying is that there is issues in the UK where there are right-wing parties like the Reform Party basically demanding that they want allow other countries to settle there. So how do you look at this? Don't you think these are concerns actually going forward?
It's a really good question, sir. The Reform Party is not in power. The party in power at the moment is the Labour Party, and actually we have a new Prime Minister. You may have heard Andy Burnham, formerly the Mayor of Manchester, has brought a really nice new energy to our country. And whilst there may be these undercurrents, this is not our dominant culture. In fact, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I presided over a citizenship ceremony where I read a pledge to an Indian national who was becoming a British citizen. And the words were really powerful because they were words around tolerance, respect, and those things remain in the UK, regardless of what some forces, which are not unique to the UK, right? We see that in Europe, we see it in the US, we see it in India too. So when it comes to employment opportunities, I mean, the NHS remains a really strong provider of jobs. And Keralan nurses are well known for their qualities and for a long history of offering that service. And it's not just nurses. Yesterday when I spoke to the CM and with the Health Minister, we talked about a range of different caring professions. So it's elderly care, geriatric care, going beyond just the traditional, nursing, which I know that Kerala has a history of. I think there's nothing that suggests to me that that's going to stop. Our population in the UK is aging, just like India's. So as long as there is an NHS demanding healthcare workers, I see no difference between opportunity for Kerala nurses and nurses from other parts of the world.
Just add on to that question, you say that there is no resentment growing, especially not just UK, across the Europe against India. Because we have seen a lot of evidence coming out on the social media where growing resentment against the, especially against the Indian population because of the religious practices on the open areas in UK and also other parts of Europe. So do you think that is really creating a problem with regard to the bilateral relationship between UK and India? Especially trade and also like as you said about employment, education, etc.
Yeah. So with respect, social media is a channel, has channels which peddle a lot of misinformation. I've seen some of those influencers that you're talking about. I've seen some of their content, and it doesn't bear resemblance with reality. So it's really, really important. I urge everybody to look at the facts. There have been lots and lots of reports about things that simply aren't true, including crime statistics. So the Mayor of London's office, Sadiq Khan is the Mayor of London, has done a lot of work to produce accurate, up-to-date statistics on how crime, especially violent crime, has been reducing. Now, your question was about freedom of religion and belief. And again, I go back to my point about our culture being one that promotes tolerance, plain and simple. And, in terms of Indians being targeted, I'm not sure that there is any evidence to support that at all. There are always going to be noises from certain segments of society which are amplified and they are played around in certain circles, but please check the facts. In terms of whether it's had any impact on trade, absolutely not. Since this trade deal has been signed, we have seen a really remarkable increase in the volume and the value of trade between the two countries. In fact, even before the deal came into effect on the 15th of July, because of all the enthusiasm around it, because there had been so much publicity, there was a growth in trade already happening. So that's only going to continue happening, and that's why we're projecting that the trade deal is worth £25.5 billion over the long run.
Business that use there's no direct flight from Kerala to UK.
Yeah. That's right.
There's no direct flight connectivity from there, so will you be pushing for that?
Yes, I heard your question about the direct flights, and yes, I'm aware, and I know that there was a direct flight until a few months
That
back.
is from Cochin.
From Cochin.
Yeah, we are asking for a direct flight from Trivandrum.
Yeah. Let me discuss that with some. British Airways is the main carrier that we speak to. I mean, it ultimately is a commercial decision, isn't it? So they will be looking at the numbers and the volume of traffic before making such decisions. I mean, British Airways and Virgin have been opening up so many new flights across southern India, that much I know. So, for example, Bangalore has become a really important hub. That's not the same as promoting a direct flight between Trivandrum and the UK, but I'll take that question and speak to people in that business.
Are you looking at any technology partnerships? So you have visited Technopark in the IT sector. Are you looking at any new technology partnership with Kerala? Investments in the IT sector?
Actually, I've come away from the tech park feeling really excited about that specific area. And yesterday I met a business which uses AI to create 3D images of the human body, which can be used for dissection for medical students. It can be used for post-mortem examinations. And it blew my mind how many possibilities there are in the medical technology space. And these are businesses that are headquartered right here in Trivandrum. So knowing that, as I was saying earlier, there's an aging population, that the NHS remains a really strong foundation of our healthcare system in the UK, there's already lots and lots of technology transfer and partnerships between Trivandrum and the UK. And my colleague Sujoy is very familiar with existing businesses, and I'm sure he can speak to that subject. But yes, to answer your question, yes, it's happening, and it will and should happen more. I'm just wondering if there's anything others want
There is already companies in Technopark doing business, like Tata LSI, another company which is IPS is also doing that. Most of these companies based in IT companies based in Trivandrum already has got a business relationship going on with UK already. But as you know, madam, Kerala is actually the employment exchange of the world. Okay. All over the world we have our people going and working. So we got, from the chamber we always say that Kerala is the employment exchange of the world. At the same time we also see that we are looking at the potential of also, you see the majority of the students going from Kerala is going to UK to study. And they go there for a year or something, or maybe 2 years, and they come back. So this time when you say that you're planning to, you have opened up 10 places, or you're tied up some 10 places, to come up your education system. We seriously believe that you should consider Kerala as one of the places to do that. You spoke to the minister also. So what will be the dedication system you're going to talk about? Is it going to be something to do with, definitely we are looking at skilling, and it should be job-oriented courses which we look at. So artificial intelligence is now coming in a big way, AI. So we want to hear from you on that.
Yeah. Actually, the minister said to me that employability and getting young people with the right skills for the labour market is what he's concerned with now. It's not just a question of university degrees for the sake of it. There needs to be a strong match with what the labour market needs, not just today, but in 10 years' time. And things are changing so fast. So having future fit, degree programs and having curriculums that are developed and perhaps co-developed between Kerala and the UK is something we talked about. So I recommended that my British Council colleagues talk to the Higher Education Secretary about this exact topic, curriculum development, so that the curriculums are not historical, they're not, from another era, but they are really at the cutting edge of what businesses need, businesses like yourselves, where you're struggling sometimes to find young people who have the soft skills as well as the hard skills to be competitive. Yeah.
You can ask questions to both of them. They are from the trade innovation.
Just tell us the size of the business we have represented from Kerala and UK.
What is the size of
UK size of business and what are we targeting at? Maybe 2 years down the line.
So the main businesses from Kerala in the UK at the moment include USD, Global IBS and all the technology.
We are looking at a single size.
They want to know the size.
Size difference, your number of people.
She has.
We don't, people don't.
She's got a figure.
No, the numbers, if you want to say, it is like 41,000 crores INR.
Yeah.
So I'm just, so Kerala had won exports worth 41,000 crore INR in the financial year 2026. So that's the kind of exports that's going from here. Yeah, that's, yes.
That's per annum.
Yes, and that's for the exports that's going from there. Only the exports of goods. So there is something to the services and the companies that's going to the UK. Yeah.
Are they looking at any target? Are you looking at any target in terms of growth in trade and industry? From Kerala per se, not just in India.
Not specifically from Kerala at the moment, so the stats are just evolving. From India, we are expecting per year a 5 billion per year increase in the investment, or increase in the bilateral trade between the countries. 5 billion. Currently, it is 48 billion till 2025. So per year, it's going to increase with the FTA coming for 5 billion.
What are the goods that's being exported?
So it includes a lot of consignments, which, as Sridhar said, marine products, textiles, handlooms, even the engineering goods and equipments. So it's a combination of more than one kind of products.
Which is the leading one? Is marine?
Marine products is one of the leading commodity that's going from Kerala to the UK.
And something.
We also have companies like Malabar Gold. They are having the biggest showroom in the UK, the gold jewelry showroom. We have Muthu, they having around 8 branches there in the UK. Finance. So these are the major companies that were giving employment in the UK as well. It's apart from the technology companies. We have around 18 of them from the techno park is currently operating in the UK as well.
So this one question, has the current Iran-US conflict actually affected trade or export between two countries? The current crisis.
The current crisis has affected oil prices, as you know, and that's affected every country in the world. So undoubtedly, as long as there is such high levels of fragility and volatility in the world, all businesses are impacted, regardless of where. So I think both the UK and India want a swift end to this conflict.
It was there earlier.
In fact, British Council services the whole of southern India. More and more we move towards these regional models rather than necessarily having a footprint in every single part or every corner of the country. We have our officers who are digitalizing certain services like the library, you find a huge range of digitalized books. We also have our English language programs available online. And again, many of them are free resources. You don't necessarily need a human being sitting in any particular city. So to your question about whether we want an office here, I'm not sure about the plans for opening up an office, but I think the movement across every sector is towards virtual and digitalization, because that's much more cost effective and much more convenient actually for people who are sitting at home and have such excellent broadband. What's the need to travel a long distance to go to an office? Correct. In Chennai, we have a digital library. Yeah.
We have another question from the Chamber of Commerce side. We have the UAE consul office here. We have the Maldives consul here. We have the honorary consul offices of the Russia, Germany, and Sri Lanka. We hope that you will consider Trivandrum as one of the potential places to open a consul office, or even you can get an honorary consul. So that is the request from our side. But is there a potential for that, or is there a possibility for that?
It's a good question. It's my job to be as present here as I possibly can. And now I've come the first time. This is my first visit. I've seen how easy it is actually. I have a lot of energy, and I've seen that jumping on a plane to come to Trivandrum is very straightforward. It's much easier than the travel that I did when I was living in Delhi. I was managing a team that was called the Indo-Pacific Regional Team, and I used to travel to the Pacific, and it took me over 30 hours. So this is straightforward, and you'll see me more often in your state. But more seriously about whether we're going to open an office here, I mean, it's a difficult question. There's a lot of factors that are in play. I mean, we have a global footprint as the UK government. We have embassies in hundreds of countries, and so that decision making about where and how is something that's considered in the round when we look at our global footprint. It's not isolated to what we do in India. But I mean, back to the previous point about the British Council, more and more we're seeing a kind of regional approach to all our work. So there is a reason why my job description includes 3 states, because it's cost effective and it's easy to travel between the states. And there's some commonalities as well, whether it's language, culture. It's not the same thing, I realize that, but it's possible. Yeah.
Another request is that a lot of our people travel to Cochin to get their visas. Is there a possibility to open up a BF6 center here so that people don't travel to Cochin and instead we can get it from here?
At least the sub-center.
A sub-center.
Yeah. I think there's some very interesting visa provisions which Sijoy can tell you about, which are specifically for businesses.
Let me answer to your question. Every first Wednesday of the month, you can do whatever the document submission here in Cochin itself. So, in Trivandrum. Okay, so every first Wednesday, so the BFS team will be here in Trivandrum. So you can do the documentation here itself. And probably, I'm sure you will be aware that now no more stamping on your passport. So the process is much more easier. So only you need to show the passport while you are submitting the documents, and then you can take it. There's already a facility. If I'm sure they will consider if there are more food for happening from Trivandrum, they can come and do it here on a more frequent basis.
So you mean to say that we don't have to travel to Cochin to submit for the first Wednesday? I can submit my document.
First Wednesday it is there in Trivandrum, which he says that there's more footfall. They can probably look at increasing the number of days. But he says that it doesn't require stamping anymore. Any other questions to both of them? Otherwise, we will wind up the press conference because we've got other people waiting for us in a thing. Update we are late, we have to catch up. So I request the secretary to give you a vote of thanks.
I'm extremely happy that the Deputy Council Trivandrum visit Trivandrum, and on behalf of the table, I extend hearty thanks along with the team and expressing all media persons those sincere thanks for attending the news press conference. Thank you very much.
I think we'd like to hand over memento to you from our side. Just now, we'll give it to you. A moment.